The truth didn't start with Riverside. It didn't start with Daniel. And it definitely didn't start with Charlotte. It started with a lie. A small one. Easy to ignore, easy to bury. Until it wasn't. Because lies don't disappear. They grow. They spread. They wait. And now, after all these years, someone has finally found where it began. Charlotte didn't sleep. She tried. But every time she closed her eyes, she saw the file. That old document, the one that didn't belong to anything she knew. It sat open on her laptop now, untouched since midnight, like it was waiting for her to come back and finish what she started. Her apartment was quiet. Too quiet. Even the city outside felt distant. Muted. She sat on the edge of her bed, staring at nothing, thinking about everything. This didn't start with Riverside. She whispered it again, trying to make sense of it, trying to make it smaller, but it wasn't small. It was bigger than anything she had imagined. And the worst part? She couldn't walk away anymore. She stood slowly, walked back to the laptop, and sat down. Her fingers hesitated, then moved. The document opened again. Old formatting. Outdated structure. This wasn't recent. This was years ago. Charlotte leaned closer, reading slowly this time, carefully. Every word mattered. Project name, redacted. Location, redacted. Lead engineer, redacted. Her brow tightened. They wiped everything, but not completely. Some things remained. Fragments, mistakes, clues. She scrolled. And then, there it was. A section that hadn't been fully cleaned. Incident report. Her heartbeat slowed, then quickened. She read, structural concerns raised prior to approval. Her eyes moved faster. Recommendation, delay construction pending further testing. A pause. Then the next line, recommendation overridden. Charlotte leaned back slightly. Of course it was. She kept reading. And then, her breath caught. A collapse occurred 6 months post-completion. Silence. Charlotte didn't move, didn't blink. People died. She whispered it, not as a question, as a realization. Daniel sat in his office, but for once, he wasn't working. He was thinking. Elena stood across from him, watching carefully. You found something, she said. Daniel didn't respond immediately. He tapped a file on the desk. Slow. Measured. This isn't the first case? Elena nodded. I figured. But it's worse than I thought. That got her attention. How bad? Daniel looked up. His voice was quiet. Identical pattern. Silence stretched between them. Elena's expression hardened. So this is... what? A system failure? Daniel shook his head. No. A pause. Then, this is design. The mechanic hadn't slept either. The device sat on his workbench, silent, but not harmless. He had disconnected it, wrapped it, tried to isolate it, but something about it kept pulling him back. He sat in front of it again, studying it, thinking. This wasn't random, he muttered. He replayed the accident in his head, every detail, every inconsistency. Then something clicked. He stood up suddenly, walked back to the car, opened the door, sat in the driver's seat, looked around, and then he noticed something he missed before, the positioning, the angle, the damage pattern. His eyes narrowed. This wasn't just tracking. A pause. They were waiting. Charlotte kept digging, file after file, case after case, each one telling the same story. Warnings ignored, approvals forced, failures buried. But something changed in the earlier files. Something subtle, less refined, less perfect. They weren't as careful back then, she whispered, and that meant mistakes. She searched again. Focus now on inconsistencies, names that appeared too often, signatures that didn't belong. And then she found it. A real name, not redacted, not hidden, just overlooked. Her heart skipped. She read it again, slowly, to be sure, because this was the first real lead. Charlotte stared at the screen. The name felt heavy, important, dangerous. She said it out loud, softly, testing how it felt. Nothing happened. But everything changed, because now, this wasn't a system anymore. It was a person. Or at least, it started with one. Daniel stood by the window again. But this time, he wasn't calm. He was angry, controlled, but angry. They knew, he said. Elena didn't argue. They always knew. He turned. And they let it happen anyway. Silence. Then, Daniel made a decision. We're not doing this quietly anymore. Elena's eyes widened slightly. That's risky. Daniel nodded. I know. A pause. Then, so is staying silent. The mechanic stepped outside the garage. The night air was cold. Still. Too still. He looked around. Nothing obvious. But something felt wrong. That same instinct. The one that never lied. He walked slowly toward the street, then stopped. A car sat across the road. Engine off, lights off. But someone was inside, watching. The mechanic didn't react, didn't stare. He just turned and walked back inside. But now he knew. They know. Charlotte grabbed her phone. Her hands were shaking slightly. She dialed. Daniel answered. Charlotte? I found something. His tone changed immediately. What is it? She hesitated, then said it. The first case. Silence. Then, I think I found who started it. In the dark room, the watchers were no longer calm. They've identified a name. How? Early file corruption. A pause. Then, do we intervene? Silence. Then, no. Another voice spoke. Let it play out. Why? A faint smile. Because they still don't understand what that name really means. Charlotte has a name. Daniel is ready to go public. The mechanic knows he's being watched, but none of them understand the truth yet. That name? It wasn't the beginning. It was just the first person who got caught. Like, comment, and subscribe for next episode.